Hey there, All Things MSP crew. Welcome back to another Pax8 Beyond special podcast edition. They're all special, aren't they? But we are here with Leonard from Rythmz. Now, we've had Rythmz on the show. They've done a vendor update before, but we're here at Pax8 Beyond. We're trying to meet with as many vendors as we can. And of course, Rythmz has been creating a lot of new stuff lately, and we want to talk about all the different use cases, because they have some really unique stuff for the MSPs in terms of continuity and different use cases. So Leonard, before we get started, let's hear a little bit about you and then Rythmz, and then we can go into the other detail stuff.
Perfect. So I cut my teeth 15 years ago with a company called In-House IT, very large MSP in Orange County, California. Out of that, the CEO, Glenn Ackerman, was part of a peer group, and Glenn was selling email security to the customers, MX Logic.
Okay.
And people were saying, hey, some of the people in the peer group, hey, I'd like that MX Logic stuff. So Glenn started a company called Spam Soap and had me run it, had me grow it and run it. So, you know, I've got DNA, my pedigree goes back to MSP, and then have been selling to and servicing MSPs from a vendor perspective for the last 12 years.
Awesome.
So been at multiple SD-WAN, now Rythmz, which is a 5G solution, was at ESET, cybersecurity. So been in the MSP VAR channel, like I said, for a good while, and that's what I love.
Awesome. Well, that's why a lot of us do this, right? We started out as MSPs. That's what I did.
You hear it all the time.
Sold mine in 2013 and went to the vendor side of the channel. It's great here. It's the dark side, I know, but we have cookies, so it's okay.
Oh, we got cookies.
Yeah, we got cookies. Well, you go to these events for the cookies, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Different kind of cookies than the website. Anyway, you guys don't need to hear about that. You know all about those.
Some other time.
So Rythmz is a 5G solution.
Yes.
It's really cool. It comes in a box.
Yes.
But it does some really cool things with the technology to bond different 5Gs together to get the bandwidth that traditional SaaS software needs to operate these days.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the product, and then we'll go into some of the use cases.
Perfect. So it's funny. Someone was walking past the booth. They're like, "What's that?" And I said, "It's the internet."
In a box.
And he's like, all the internet, it's in a box. So what it looks like is, if you haven't seen it, it looks like a Pelican case. And in the Pelican case, you have a router, you have an SD-WAN, and then you have 3 bonded SIM cards, and it goes up to 4 bonded SIM cards from 3 different providers, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And it's bonded, so that's what you were alluding to. And then we have an antenna. So it's internet in a box, 5G in a box. And that's it's a simple product. That's what it is.
Right.
Use cases can get interesting.
Right. And so I know, because I've talked to Steve a little bit. In fact, Steve's actually offered to lend us a box so that we could live stream the All Things MSP from a show. We just haven't had a chance to coordinate yet. And that's one of those use cases, right?
Sure.
Is the ability to go to a trade show and have a dedicated, with those 3 or 4 bonded connections, enough bandwidth to actually live stream. Because I know my good friend Uncle Marv has done that.
He uses our box to stream.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good guy. So it's interesting, since you're talking about this, one of the products we're looking at coming out with is a backpack. And having our box in a backpack, so a streamer, as they're walking around, let's say they're at Comic-Con, and they're streaming, it's a YouTuber and they're streaming live, we can have it in the backpack and they can be streaming live their, whatever the YouTube channel they're doing.
Okay, so trade shows, that's one use case.
Yeah.
Mobile content creators would be another one.
Sure.
What are some of the other use cases maybe closer to the SMB market that you guys have?
So one of the things, and I've changed my pitch over the last, because I've been here for 9 months. So you have this short-term and long-term use case. Short-term is you have incident response, you have emergency response. So incident response is you get hacked. Company goes down, you bring the network down, you bring internet down, and you bring up a new network, and you bring up, put it on a new internet.
Right.
A secure internet.
Right.
That's incident response. Emergency response would be someone cut the fiber. Customer moves buildings and didn't realize Spectrum is 6 months turnaround for internet, and it's 2 weeks out and they got to be in a new building.
That's never happened to an
Exactly.
MSP before.
And it's funny because I'm talking to these guys, they're like, "Oh my God, that just happened." Of course it did.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. So you've got internet went down because of fill in the blank why. We moved. We don't have internet. Another short term is events. We talked about events. We even do a lot of construction sites. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just talked to an MSP whose vertical is construction, and you're not paying a ton to bring in the internet. You've got this box. In the beginning of the project, the trailer's in the back right. As the project progresses, the trailer's in the middle.
Yep.
And as the project progresses, now it's in the front on the curb. That's fine, fantastic. It's a durable box. All I need is power, and we've got internet. So it's securing the property. It's got cameras. It's the equipment. So big for construction sites.
Yep.
Then you have events. So MSPs typically, or they really don't, talk to their customers about events. Right. Any MSP, I guarantee you have customers that do events. Yep. You just haven't asked them what events do your customers do events,
right?
Because you haven't had a solution until now, and you can bring internet to the event they do and actually monetize it. You can be that internet as a service provider, and we're finding you can charge, they're easy $1,000 a day.
Yep.
In my boxes, we'll get into it in a second if you want on the cost of it, but there's a lot of money, net new logo, net new revenue, new revenue stream specifically going after events. And then the other two to round it off. So you have short term and then long term, I like to say.
Uh-huh.
Long term is customer has a primary internet, they want backup. Right? They want a different provider for backup. We can be that. Right? So we're an alternate or a secondary internet connection. And then for primary, which is the least, primary, we can be that 3 internet providers solution. So we've got a customer in St. Louis. They've got 3 dental surgery centers, compliance concerns, large files. They're up 6 days a week. They want an internet where if switch 1 or provider 1 goes down, we've got 2 and 3.
Yep.
So interesting use case, but yeah.
Right.
So those, you got short term and you got long term. You got events, construction sites. Oh crap, internet went down. Help me out real quick.
So I imagine that also makes it a little bit tricky when you're trying to provide it to a partner in terms of permanent is easy because obviously they're just going to resell the box, resell the service. But then what do we do when it's that temporary situation where, yes, it may sit on the shelf for a while before they need it for the emergency or the security incident type of use case?
So right now, the answer is it's $5.95 for a month. We don't have it where it's idle standby and it's something less than, and then once it turns on, it's activated, then it jumps to a different model, whether it's per gig or a $5.95, whatever it might be. But right now we have MSPs that will keep these and pay for that $5.95. And what they're doing is they're charging each of their customers some dollar amount, a premium to have so let's say your service area is 30 minutes. They'll do an SLA of 2-3 hours and you're live on internet. And I will service, I'll bring a box to you and you'll be up and running in a matter of 3 hours.
So that's really the way to look at it is you bundle it into your monthly price with 100%. Your clients. Make a little profit even on the months where they don't need it, but then also have it there and available for when they do. And I mean, I would imagine even with 10 clients, which is a low number of clients.
$100 a month, $50 a month.
Right. You sell them $100 a month to have that capability.
Yeah.
And now you have...
That's where you're making now.
Right. Plus, you're reducing their risk. It's all about, again, reducing their risk.
And you know what? It's really interesting is, and say if I'm wrong, but you never get the call that says the internet's down. Right? That never happens.
Right.
And yes, it does. And you had nothing to do with it. You didn't know about it. And now are you making the call to Spectrum? Are you helping the end user with making the call to fielding the call to Spectrum?
Yeah.
And you didn't make any money on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps you to recoup that by managing the whole thing.
Exactly.
Including the good part of the solution.
Sure.
Right? The ability to get them back up and running within 2 to 3 hours.
Yep. Now
regardless of the service provider.
Correct.
And that's the key point, I think, is that it puts control back into your hands as the provider, as the MSP, rather than relying on the ISP.
Yep. Good way to say it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Leonard, thank you so much for joining me today. I love Steve, and I love what Rythmz is doing, and I think I hadn't connected the dots before on how to monetize this as a sit on the shelf till somebody needs it solution, and I think that's something we've accomplished today.
All right.
And I think that's the way that the MSPs need to look at it. It is a ongoing service where it's there if they need it, and I think $100 a month is definitely worth it, because if you have more than 10 clients, you might need to have more than one box on the shelf.
We have a couple that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
Well,
have a great Beyond.
All righty. Bye now.